Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming to this Zoom session. My name is Huli Ho, a volunteer conducting IT classes in library at Harbourfront. At this moment, we have converted these classes using Zoom. Now, a few days before the event, I normally post the notes in my blog. If any one of you is interested to have a soft copy, you can click follow, right-hand corner below, and submit your email address. Subsequent new posts, you will get a soft copy. Now, since circuit breaker, I have done 13 topics. After this session, the library will extend to me a recorded copy and I will put it in the blog. And you can read the notes and view the video again at your own pace. Today, I will touch on 5 topics on this Windows 10. 2 weeks later, I will continue with some other aspect of Windows 10. So, first of all, how to improve the booting time of Windows 10. And for those who want to write Chinese in their email or search YouTube songs in Chinese, you have to add on the Chinese language, how to do it. All the notes are in the blog. Computer systems have more than just OS to learn. So what can a computer system do for you, either at work or at play? And some of you may want to know how to use your laptop or desktop properly, at least to extend the lifespan of your investment. So restore point is a good thing to learn. And recovery, this is also a good thing to learn, especially when you just bought a new laptop or desktop. So these are some of the things we'll discuss today. Now, Microsoft every year will do some updating on their OS. And just a few days ago, they have released this 2021 version. We call it 21H1. I did it a few days ago. So if you check your update history, you should have a statement. What I put it down here in yellow fonts. If you don't have this, means your OS is still not updated to the latest version. Now, when you start any laptop or desktop, it will come a time when you have the, I call it the start page. And the scenery may be different, but this is a start page of Windows 10. Normally they have the time, the date on the left-hand side, and your booting time should not take more than 1 minute or slightly more than 1 minute. If it is 3 minutes or 5 minutes, something is wrong. How to improve it, I will show you. How to improve booting time? What we normally do is when you come to the start page, you press the 3 keys, Control, Alternate, and Delete. You will come to a menu, they call it Task Manager. If you cannot see this, somewhere at the bottom left-hand corner, there's a word More Details. You click on that, and on top of the bar, you will see the word Startup. You click that, and every line in that startup, you disable it. Maybe you just leave the Windows security able, and that's it. You will improve your start time. If you see some of the programs that you normally don't use, you can even go to the control panel and delete the whole program away, because all these on to the start time of your booting time. How to write Chinese in Windows 10. All these notes are in the blog. You can take your time to slowly follow them. But basically, it's quite easy to follow. Just follow the step, you will get it. If you still have trouble, you can Q&A, ask me some more details. Now, Windows 10 has a new browser. They call it HEDGE. I don't understand why some of you or some of us don't use Edge and use Chrome. Some reason they tell me is faster. But faster is not the reason. How secure is the browser to prevent unnecessary virus entering in? I give you one example. I did, you can say a heart attack or whatever you call it. I was serving. Suddenly my Edge just automatically shut down. So that is a defense. That something serious is coming to infect your computer. So they have enough intelligence to prevent it by automatically shutting down. So there are many other features, especially when you update it every time. So I strongly encourage, if you trust Microsoft in buying the laptop and install Windows 10, I should advise you to trust Microsoft browser. But if you don't, you can choose whatever you want. There are many other browsers in the market. Now, a smart device, including a laptop or desktop, they have more than operating system. First of all, the user must be trained. Sometimes it's the user problem, not the equipment problem. So user give the right instruction. So learn to be a smart user. Application are for those who are still working, who want to install Microsoft Office or some sort of application, maybe a photo editing application, or even burning a CD-ROM disk. All this needs some training and learning. Operating system is what I'm going to talk now. And last but not least is the hardware. So hardware, the most important thing is the ventilation. So make sure all the hole opening in the desktop box or in the laptop below those openings are properly ventilated. And from there, you can have, what should I say, longer life for the equipment. An operating system is the program that interface between the computer user and the computer hardware. So basically, it serves the command what the user gives to the computer. If you want the computer to connect to YouTube, they will do it for you. These are the common operating system in the market. So if you buy a PC, most likely is installed with Microsoft Windows 10. If you buy an Apple laptop, they have their own proprietary Apple Mac OS. If you buy any non-Apple smartphone, you will normally use the Google Android OS. And Linux is for those who want to tweak their own browser and do some computing themselves. Chromebook, also from Google, they call it Chrome OS. These are mainly for secondary students to prevent them to do unnecessary things when they are in the classroom. It's also cheaper because you can't do much with a Chromebook except only for study. There are two options that I would like to discuss for people like us who need a smart device for our daily life. So if you have committed, or no, sorry, A is before you commit in buying a new one, it's good to follow these 4 guidelines. Intel i5, Windows OS, RAM, minimum 8, but 16 is better, and hard disk 250 or more. And hard disk now got a new version that don't have any moving parts. We call that M.2. I show you a picture afterwards. Now, if you have committed and you want to improve on it, you have to do all this. First, create the Microsoft email account, then create an ownership account to tell Microsoft that you own that laptop. If any of you forget about this, you may regret it when something happened to your laptop. Next, create a Google Gmail account. The reason is because Google has a lot of good apps and they want to know who download their apps. So you need to give them a Gmail account. It's good also for cross-platform synchronization. If you don't understand the meaning, after Q&A, we can talk about it. And it's good to create restore point once a week or once in 2 weeks, also for repair purposes, recovery purposes. And most important is the recovery disk. Because if your computer has something wrong and totally you need to reinstall, you no need to buy another OS. With this properly done, you can take it out and they will reinstall the OS for you. Now, just now I told you that hard disk, through the development, initially we have the usual starter moving. This is the moving part hard disk. There is something moving inside. So anything that moves, normally the reliability is much reduced. Then they come the solid state, very bulky. Then come the M.2. This is the current one. If you buy an Apple laptop, most likely they use this. If you assemble your own desktop, most likely I will recommend this. No moving part. And this one minimum starting capacity is 250 G. You can buy 500 also. And this is also another version of the solid disk. But the third one is the most popular one. Now come to what is the favorite start page you want. For me, even though I use Edge, I like to program Edge in such a way the second click, I can get this Google page. The reason is because once I get this page, you know what I can get? I can immediately go to my Gmail. There's a click, there's a click down there, you can go directly to Gmail. Or you click the 9 dots, you can get all this Google app. All this you can program yourself. These are my popular one, but Google has many apps. It depends on what you want. So down the line, I also have one lesson on some of the useful Google app that you can use to find information, to do whatever thing you want to do. So that is my preference. That from Edge, the second click, you go to Google page, and from Google page, the third click, you go to Gmail. And if you don't do Gmail, you can directly go to YouTube and all this. Just now, one of the Edge page I show you, I have a shortcut of doing that. How to upkeep your laptop, desktop, computer properly. Some of you may not realize that switching off directly from the wall switch is not a good idea. So the proper way is go to the bottom left-hand corner. That is the window icon. Start from there. Then the second step, go to shutdown. That is the proper way, not just switch off your AC switch. You may jam up some of the operating statement, and from there, the next time you turn on, it may not work. then you may have to reinstall the Windows operating system again. And whenever Microsoft asks you to update the OS, please trust them and do it. I have listened to some of the seniors who said, I don't trust things that ask me to update. Then I always tell them, but the fact that you bought the PC with Windows 10, Microsoft in Windows 10 installed, why can't you trust them further that they ask you to update, you have to update? The reason why Microsoft requests updating is because as they go along, they find a lot of people going through the back door and all this. So once they identify it, they will do patching and close all the back door to keep your operating system safer. In the old days, when you buy a new laptop or desktop, a third party will give you a free antivirus software. Sometimes it's a Northern antivirus, sometimes can be others, McAfee or whatever it is. Now, they only give you 1 year free. After that, if you don't do anything, it's just stagnant down there and no more updating. So what has this free antivirus program done? What they have done is when you install this, when they activate this during the initial stage, you have killed the Windows Defender program. And when a 1 year free expire, technically you have nothing to protect your computer because the free Windows Defender is being blocked by this free antivirus program that you have installed. And this one installed, you don't pay money the second they don't give you update. So technically you don't have any protection. And you cannot say you turn on two at the same time.
You know, the result cannot, it has to be realistic, a smart goal, right? You can say.
I think one of them is having the mic on. Dong Seng, please check. Okay.
Yes, I muted them.
So what happened is you cannot have two masters in one operating system. You have to decide. So my best advice is when people ask me to configure their new laptop, I always kill this free antivirus program because it's of no use, because a Windows Defender is good enough for our daily use. So right from day one, you activate Windows Defender and kill away this free 1 year offer. Now, another thing I think some of you may not be aware is that a laptop and desktop is not a storage device, even though you have 250 G and all that. The reason is because you are putting all the eggs in one basket. That means the disk that they give it to you in the laptop or desktop is used to install the operating system and also used to store all your data. What happened one day? Whatever reason, the serviceman said, I need to reinstall the OS for you. Do you have anything important in your hard disk? You say yes, then they will not do the job for you. First of all, you have to take out all your pictures. So during my storage session, I think a few months down, I will show you how to solve this problem. So all your important data files should only be temporarily kept in this desktop or laptop. But once you have more than 30 pictures or what, it's good to remove it away to an external drive or even burn on a DVD disc. Restore point is something like a reset point in our smartphone. Sometimes you may have some hiccups when you do something on your operating system or when you are doing something on your program. So the only way to clear away all these hiccups is go back to your restore point and restore to whatever date that you have done the restore point. So that's why it's good to do it once a week or once in 2 weeks, is because when you have trouble, it's good to take the latest restore point date and use that as a resetting point. So assuming you restore point on March the 3rd, then you just put 03/03/20. 20 is last year lah. So that's how you identify which one is the latest. It is very useful. This tool is very useful. Now, if you have a completely workable operating system, need not be the new starting point, can be any year down the road. But it must, I emphasize, it must be a properly working one. Because if you have some defects in that, the defects are also recorded in the recovery disk. So make sure everything works well, you are happy with it, then it's good to create a recovery disk. That's why I always recommend people to do it at the first moment you get your new set, because that is the time your operating system is 100% perfect. Because down the road, you may have created some problem and then you are not aware of it. So when you do the recovery, all those hiccup will also be recorded. It's something like a stamp on the system that something is not right. And this one, you need a thumb drive of 8 GB or more. In the market, you cannot buy 8 GB anymore. It's too small. So maybe you have to get a 16 GB. Doesn't matter. Because you cannot put other things inside. Once you dedicate this thumb drive will be forever kept by you and only need to use it during emergency. And this one take a long time to do. Last time I did is one over hour, about 2 hours. So you can do it overnight, do it overnight, or make sure you have time to wait before you switch off your system. And your Wi-Fi must be the best. So the best thing is put near to the router, because they need to download something from Microsoft server. What is the usefulness of the recovery drive? PC cannot start, you can use it. Troubleshooting. If you have a backup system on this drive, you will be able to reinstall it. Please note, not reinstalling your data and pictures. This is only operating system. In the past, somebody asked me, what about my pictures and all that? You remember just now I told you, pictures, all that are totally different consideration. You don't use your laptop as a storage device. You have to do that responsibility separately. Nothing to do with this recovery drive. Recovery drive is dedicated 100% on, what should I say, on the system that you have. Windows 10 can do print screen like your smart device by using the window logo key and the print screen key. And after that, you go to find the screenshot photo, you will get that as an image. Now, I just have one announcement. This month, on the 11th of June, NLB and SUSS is organizing a symposium on meaningful of aging together. I think this one don't really affect us most. I think by then, I think most of us will be not around. It's more to your children and grandchildren. They are talking about long-term, how to do about it. Maybe short-term can implement some of it. So these are the talks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can join all of them. They are all in the NLB app. Just go to NLB app, search for 11th of June. You will get all these talks ready to register. So first one is the future of aged care. Second one is a specialization. Third one is what other people are doing around the world, how they live, living options. Singapore also have a few options, I think you know, community housing and all that. Then tourism for seniors. So you go through it and make your own choice. Now, for those who first time know me, I have a blog, itforseniors.wordpress.com. All the notes are there, and even the previous recorded session. And the recorded section is in my YouTube channel. This is my YouTube channel. You can take your own time to view them and listen to them and reinforce your learning. I think that's all I have. So, Tong Sing, pass back to you.